Hello everybody and welcome to the Richardson Simple Living. It's that time of the week again, Thursday homeschool cooking, and today we're going to do a Victoria sponge cake. So I'm Maria and this is Sian, and Sian is the person who's going to be doing the cake. So without further ado, we'll get on with it. So Sian, do you want to have a look what we need to do first?
Okay.
You'll have to excuse a minute, the recipe book's behind us. So, first of all then, like I say, we're adapting it how I adapt it. So we're going to do 6 ounces of butter or margarine. Well, I've got the margarine out ready, here look. And your weighing scales are all set.
So 6 ounces.
So, yeah, that's what, was that what I said, 6? No, 8 ounces, sorry, because I'm doing the adaptation. So I've got, yeah, give it the left spoon. Just roll your sleeves up so they're not touching your food or in the way of anything. And you do your 8. We're doing a bit of a cheats way today. Well, I always do the cheats way. Blend it in my food processor. I always do it that way. We can do it in a bowl, and it might seem a bit odd. I'm not teaching her to do it in a bowl, but it's no problem. We can adapt it either way. But we're going to be doing it in the processor. I like doing it in the processor because it whips better and it beats more air into it, and it seems to rise better, makes a softer sponge, well, lighter sponge I should say. So that's why we're doing it that way. Although we could just as easily have done it in the bowl, because my granny always used to say it's in the wrist action when you're beating in the bowl, but I'm not so sure my wrists have got great action, and I've never tested Sian's. So we're going to do it in the processor. So how are we doing, Sian? Oh, we've got a little bit to go, haven't we? So how's everybody's week? How's it going okay, apart from rain, rain, rain? Dean's trying to get on with jobs in the garden, but it's rain all the time. We had a disaster with the beans this week. I don't know if you've seen one of my earlier episodes. Would you like to just pop that in there then?
Oh.
Use your spoon to scrape it in. Yeah, one of my earlier episodes, and we were looking at the cockerel. He's still doing okay at the moment and separate from the others. But I was showing you my beans. I was picking beans, lovely and lush they looked. But because we were making a pen for the cockerel, or my daughter and my husband was, not this daughter, my elder one, she pulled, we used a rabbit run, which was around the base of the beans. Well, I thought they were using another run. But no, apparently they've ripped the one up from under the beans. Now the beans are dying, so I think they've damaged roots. I've seen a couple of roots come out and they're dying back, so I've lost whatever beans I was going to be getting. Do you want to have a look what's next in the list?
I don't know where we were.
Well, you've only done butter, the first one. I think it'll probably be sugar, will it?
Well, the one that says caster sugar.
That's the one. So the recipe says 6, but remember we're going up
8.
2 ounces, so 8, yeah. Have your caster sugars in the yellow bag if you want to use that first. Here I go again, mixing things, normal sugar and caster sugar in case we run out. So yeah, as I was saying about the beans, the bean bush is now kaput. It's not looking good, and I don't think it's going to do anything. So I'll probably show you that if I get a chance before it goes completely. Oh, hang on there. Cool. So that was this week's adventures. Yeah, pop that in with that. But Dean is making, well, a chicken box at the moment to move the cockerel into, but I think it's going to be a duck box overall when it goes into the new duck pen when it's built, which can't be built until the pumpkins come out, which won't be till the end of the month. And then I suddenly realised that I can't do the duck pen when the pumpkins are out because I've got the swede next to it, and apparently you don't take the swede out until the first frost. Well, you can do, but if you wait till the first frost, it makes them sweeter, somebody said, nicer flavour. So it looks like we won't be doing anything till we've had the first frost. So anyway, let's get on with Sian. So Sian, what we're going to do now is blend this together. So we'll pop the lid on. What we do, put that on, and you have to clip it all in place. This is going to be loud, everybody, so we won't speak while it's on. We'll just let it whiz round and go light and fluffy. So, see how it all goes round and it all blends. Then you can make it all nice and fluffy. Just pop that on there a minute. I need that afterwards. Going round and all mixing in there. What we need now is a knife just to scrape it off the sides. So, scrape it away from the sides and give it another whiz round. Just keep an eye on it, you're watching it as it gets lighter and lighter, fluffier and fluffier. It's all sort of fluffed up, do you think? So now, I think the next job, Sian, do you want to have a look what's next on the list to do? I know, but I need you to look. Next year's schedule.
Eggs.
Eggs, right, so we're going to be using 4 eggs. So what we're going to do, pop your eggs here and break one at a time, drop one in, whisk it and do it that way till we've used all the eggs, all 4 of them. We've even adapted eggs today. We've got 2 from our own chickens and 2 shop bought ones, or shop bought I should say, not brought.
There.
Yeah. Because the chickens aren't laying at the moment. The new ones we've got are at point to lay. So we have had the odd egg and double yolkers, but they're not really laying continuously. And now Buff Orpingtons, they're not laying at the moment. They don't seem to lay a lot, I think because they're pure breeds. So we don't, well, height of summer we tend to get mostly their eggs from spring to the height of summer, and then there seems to be nothing then.
Okay.
Let's have a peek. Oh yeah, we tip that in and then pop your lid back on like we said. That's it, just grip it in. We'll give that a whiz round. Blend it in. Do this. I seem to do more of this than you, Sian, don't I? Yeah, start to go round now, mix them. Okay. Want to do another one? Not that way, because you clip that back on in a minute. So I was saying about Dean doing a project on his greenhouse the other day. He was cleaning it off for winter. He was cutting the trees above that were hanging over from neighbours, and he was going to clean inside of it, but he's never got that far because we've got some cracked, well, it's not panes of glass, it's like a perspex stuff, perspex. So he's replaced some of that. He's still got another piece to replace, but because the rains have come, it's obviously put a halt on it, because our greenhouse is wooden, and so he can't really do any more at the minute. So once we get a dry spell again, he'll put that piece on and then finish and clean it all out. Ready for, well, we'll say spring, early next year. We'll see. It's all the ground's ready for everything. It's a bit boring at the moment because I don't really have a great deal to show you. We can talk about our own education, and like today on Thursdays we do our cooking vlog. But there's not a lot to show you outside because there's nothing going on. We need to build everything up and it'll be fine. There's quite a few jobs that will need doing, and the front, I've never showed you the front yet, but there's not much out there. I've got lawn, it's got a willow tree in the middle, and then the borders, one side's got lavender. I think we'll put lavender, yeah, that's great, along the back side or the front where the pavement goes. We need a new side fence between us and a neighbour because one of the neighbours knocked it down with one of their big vehicles. So we need a decent fence going along there. You know what? Do you have a go putting that one on whisking it, look. And then, if you can hear me, also under the window in front of this kitchen window you can see, under there, it's all gravel at the moment. So we want to put some slabs down there and just make it level with the path that runs along to the front door and down to the road. So I've got some little jobs to be done, which will probably show you. That's done nicely. Next one. So there's all these little jobs that need doing, and obviously the big job of taking up one of the lawns and turning it over, ready for growing.
We got a double yoga.
You got a double yoga? Oh, smashing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nice and fresh. We've got a double yoga. Don't know if we can see that without me tipping it out everywhere. Can we see that? Double yolk. And that's from one of our chickens. So yeah, lots of little jobs. I feel like we're not doing anything really, because I watch all these vlogs that all my favourite people doing all these things and preparing for winter, and I think I've got nothing to prepare yet, because obviously we're not planting seeds or anything ready, because we're ripping all the garden up ready to start. So I suppose patience, got to have patience. It's just the start of the adventure. There'll be more to say as time goes on. Yeah, that's great, Sian. You want to put that in? Pop your lid onto the blender. That's it, you put the lid on then. Where did we put it? There, look. Yeah, put it, what you do, see that bit, that's the catch, put it just side there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And then what you have to do is turn it and you hear it click. Then press the bottom for on. See how it's getting smoother? How many eggs? We've got one more egg. So we're blending it all in. Which is nice because it's whipping it all up and it's all sort of look really light and fluffy. We're not starting to, it is. That's the off button when it's mixed. Now you can do the next one. To get it off, you just turn it the other way. You've always got to make sure the bottom's clicked in as well.
Okay.
Is that a double yoker or single?
Single.
Oh. We've done good getting one double yoker though. Getting too greedy for more double yokers now, because we've got one. Oh dear. So homeschooling today, I don't know if I've said before, like Thursday afternoon, as you can see, is cooking afternoon. In the morning we do maths and English. Oh, and some reading. We do reading every day, we do maths and English every day, though English varies, because this morning we did grammar and punctuation, but some mornings it might be comprehension. So I was thinking about getting an English study guide as well, and English in general, see what that's got in it. Yeah, that's brilliant, yeah. Because we're working through the books quite quickly, I find that we get Key Stage 3 books, and you think, well, Key Stage 3 is from Year 7 to Year 9, but they're not going to last till Year 9. I mean, I can get some different books, but I think we might start adapting things as well, putting things in ourselves. Do you want to click that on, have a go there? I think we'll probably start putting our own things in. Story writing, things like that. Because Sian is quite good at story writing. Brilliant. Bottom one. Perfect. Well done. There it's all, the volume's all gone up nice and fluffy now. She's such an enthusiastic girl. She does smile, really. There we are then. Take it off. Take your lid off. And then have a look what your recipe says next. I think it's more weighing out, there you are. And remember to add 2 ounces on, because that's me doubling up.
Self-raising flour.
We're not actually doubling up, but a quartering up. Self-raising flour, how many?
6. It says
so we want
8
then, don't we? Have a look. Oh yeah, see a lot. There we go then. So if you measure 8, I've got some more here if you run out. I've got that ready for you. tease it out. I was wondering what we could make for cooking this week, because we haven't been to the shop, so it's a case of what have we got in. So that's why we're doing a Victoria sandwich cake. And everyone in the house except for me goes, I don't like jam. Well, guess who's going to eat it all? You. No, they cut it out, some of them. You need, oh, bang on again. Fantastic. There we are. We put that in there, be very careful. I don't know if I said, but me and Charlotte both washed our hands before we started vlogging, so our hands have been washed. That's it. Make sure it's thin. With your spoon, give it a scrape with your spoon. Look, we're done with that one. We can put that in the dishwasher. Just mind your knee. Let's put that in the dishwasher. There you go. Right, so we do the same again. We're going to whiz it round. Actually, you might want that, so we won't get rid of that. Pop your lid on, and we'll whiz it round. Seem to have a leaky tap. Excuse me, the tap's leaking. That could end up another job for Dean. Yeah, that's away. I'll just find a bit of vanilla essence. Lovely. Right in front of us. What we do when it's whisking, because we're not doing it in a bowl and beat it from the sides, we've got to stop it and bring it off the sides. Yeah, like that. So, you see any white down there?
No idea.
No idea. It's clear enough. Let's, yeah. At this point, we'll see how thick the mixture is. Look, you think that's nice and runny? Here, might need a bit more of a whisk, because if it's quite thick, I tell you what. Do you want to put a little bit of this in? If it's quite thick, we normally add a drop of milk, but the consistency looks okay today. Not too much, just a bit of a fast in the wrist. Oh, stop. Lid on, and off we go again. Lid on.
Oh, you want me to do that?
I do, yeah. You're supposed to be cooking. Oh, dear me. There's that in. Anything with flour, we're getting a right mess, don't we? It's like if there's snowing everywhere. It's snowing in your boots. You left the boots down in the corner and I think there's flour in them. There we go. Right. What we need to do is move things. We have to juggle in our small space, so we're going to move things about, because obviously now we're going to need to put it into the put them there, into the cases. I've already lined the cases with greaseproof paper. Like I say, I don't really grease things. I tend to put greaseproof paper and everything. So what we're going to do now then, Sian, take the lid off. This is trickier than if you do it in a bowl. It's a lot easier, just tip your bowl and equally divide it, but because this is on a hole, when you put it up there's a hole, when you pull that out there's going to be a hole. You've got to be very careful. So what we do first, put that over there and we'll just switch it off. Oh, we're not using it. Wouldn't be so bad if we had a bit more space. Well, probably this is where you'll need a spoon. So what we're going to do is lift that off and scrape it into one of them. Okay?
Wait, what?
We lift that out, take it over quick, so it doesn't drip through the hole. It'll all go into the counter and we'll take it off. See, it's nice and runny, it's got a good consistency, so we didn't need to add milk. Sometimes we have to. When I get carried away, a bit of this and a bit of that. Right, take this off. Wash that out because it's sticky. Right, now what you need to do, hold the handle of that and with your spoon guide some into there and guide some into there and try and make it an equal amount and without it going through the hole. So if you bring it, yeah, at an angle where you can judge it without losing it. Okay, guide some into that one as well before you, and then just try and make an equal mix in each. That's it, scrape it from the back of the bowl. Is it equal? Does anyone want a bit more in? Push that bit in. Let's have a look. Does it look equal? Do you want to put a bit more in there and a bit more in there so you've scraped it all out? At the moment I'm trying to devise a meal plan that lasts for a month to try and cut down on what we spend, because I think, oh, when you keep going to the shops regularly you always end up buying things you don't need, and the worst thing is when you go to the shops and you've not had nothing to eat and it's like, oh, crisps, chocolate, and that says it all. But and you spend more money than you need to because you buy all these luxuries that look so tempting. But I thought, well, years ago when my children were small, we used to do fortnightly budgets. But I'm thinking of trying a monthly budget. So I want to do a meal plan where I can write a month's worth of food out, and then the shopping. And then what I'm hoping to do when next summer comes round, or next year when things start to grow in the garden, is try and replace things or start them from scratch with what we've got growing. So I'll be buying a lot of jars of this and things like that, but like your sauces and that, and next summer when we've got things growing, I want to make them from scratch, which should save even more money again. So we're going to adapt it over. So I want to start this meal plan and then gradually adapt it. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. It's running out of ideas though, what we like for different days of the week, what we all eat, because quite often we all eat different, and my eldest daughter, she's vegetarian.
Just a mess.
So, yeah, it's working everything out. So yeah, let's scrape all this out then, Sian, and then what we need to do is level it all out. Look, do the levelling. And what I try to do when you're levelling is try and just level it a little bit more at the edges, but not so much that you'd notice too much, you know. So because you know how a cake rises, because we want it flatter, we try and get it a bit to the side. Do you want to have a go at levelling that one? And we'll do that, and hopefully I've got quite a wide oven, so I'm hoping we'll fit the 2 pans in. I think I do normally. So I've got a double oven, but I'm pretty sure I fit them both on the same shelf. Yeah. Yes, I might make a vlog about my menu. When I've finished it, I think I've got to try and think of, I think it was 6 more dishes, I think, 6 or 8. So when I thought of them, because there's got to be things that can adapt to vegetarian or things that can adapt to people who don't like everything, like Sian. You know, oh dear, we've got it all at one side, look.
No.
See how it comes up?
No.
Great if we're making a Christmas cake and we want a ski slope. There, that's all you've got to do. It's perfect, Sian. Okay. So, she's going to lick the spoon, but we're not using it again, so. What I normally do, I think I've showed you this before, pop a bit of foil on, over the top loosely. just because it will need to take a little bit longer because I've added extra 2 ounces of everything to my recipe. Because I find it makes a better sponge by doing that. Put that one in the oven. Sian doesn't like putting things in the oven.
Last time you trusted me to
I think she
cut an
was.
apple, I ended up cutting my finger.
You didn't actually cut your finger, but
Ended up.
it was looking like you might cut your finger. That's something we've got to practice, peeling technique. Maybe we'll do some recipes with potatoes or something in. Because we've done all the apples now. All the pies and apples and that are in the freezer to make that a bit loose.
Still put this in the dishwasher.
Yes, please. So we'll put that on gas mark 5 because we're gas. It says 190 degrees centigrade or 375 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 5, which is what we are for about 20 minutes. So should be done. We'll give that 20 minutes and we'll come back to you when it comes out the oven. See you in a bit. Right, our sponges are done, and so we're going to make some buttercream now to put in the middle. I'll just give you a quick show of the sponges. Come over here. That's tripping over, Sian. There you are. That's our sponges, all upside down and ready. Pop you back there, if you can see okay there. So, what we're going to do is measure out first of all, we've got the icing sugar over there. We want some butter first. I'm going to double on the recipe because we've got quite big sponges. So it says 3 ounces, but we'll go to 6. Do you know where 6 is on the scale? Yeah, the 2 dots off the front, well done. So if you measure 6 and put it into the mixing bowl.
Good butter, right?
Yeah. I've got more behind if we run out. We've packed the processor away now. We're actually going to be doing this in a bowl now. I haven't made buttercream for years. Normally I cheat and I buy the tubs ready made, different flavoured ones, but that's quite costly. And like I said, I haven't been shopping anyway, so we've got icing sugar in and margarine, so we'll make our own. See how it goes. We'll do this while the sponges are cooling down. They're cooling down quite nicely. Do you need more margarine, Sian?
I don't go up and put on over.
Don't matter if it goes over as long as it's not by loads. Well, I'd say more bang on the dot. So if you want to put that in, that tub's empty now, so scrape it all in. Just put my spoon. Things we like to try and live simple, that's our aim, which means being a little bit frugal. We do need to scrape every bit out of the margarine tub. See, a good old scrape round gives you another spoonful. We'll dollop that in there, won't it? Right then, so check your scales are still okay for naught. And how much icing sugar does it say in the recipe, Sian?
I don't even know where I'm looking.
We just had a look. There's 6, so we'll
Oh,
double it
wow.
to 12. I don't think we need a spoon. So we've got to be careful because it's been opened upside down, which was probably me before I blamed somebody else. So it's not opened very well, it might go everywhere. So if you went to 12, do you know where 12? Oh, it says there at the top. So if you put 12 in, you might have to wriggle it a bit. Be careful because sometimes in packets they stick a bit. I expect everything to go woof all at once, big mound and dust everywhere. Careful, if you do that it will. Maybe if you lift the packet out, would that help? Then you could sort of squeeze it a bit with your fingers, tease it out. That's better, isn't it? Tease it out. Right. We're all right, aren't we? Yeah. Surprising how much of it we need to use. I think we're on the mark. Put paint to that. Leave that, we'll sprinkle it on the top of the cake when we're done. We'll pop that back over there a minute. Right, so if you want to tip that into your bowl, we've just got a cloth here because of sticky, greasy hands. There you are, just give it a bang into the bowl, bang it out. Lovely. And then pop your scales in there. Well, submerge it. You don't need that bit, so we'll move it out of the way so you've got a bit of mixing room. Up there. Right then, so what you've got to do now is mix it all together, cream it all together. Just lift your sleeves up, it might be a bit better. Put that over there. Dusty job.
Okay.
Yeah, try not to get it all go all over the place. Do it slowly. Come here, look.
You did see that.
See what you need to do. Bring it down off the sides into the middle. Look. Oh dear. There's that cloth. It's like a snowstorm.
Oh, okay.
Get it everywhere. I hope you have enough consistency now. Right, bring it all into the middle and do it slowly. Like that. Sort of break it in to start with so it coats the margarine.
I can do that.
Of course you can do that, anybody can do that. That's it, keep going like that, then you won't have all this everywhere. So if we just whisk it all in. Whisk. Spoon. Mix it, get the right word. Thinking this cookery takes us so late into an afternoon and toward tea time, dinner time, whichever you call it, we might switch our cookery to a morning, which will give us more time and be better, and then perhaps do our maths and English then in the afternoon. So we'll see next week. Might swap it around because it ends up becoming a rush, especially as we're having to wait for things to cook or wait for things to cool. And although it's quick watching it on the video because it's sort of all instantaneous, flows nicely, but here it takes ages, hours sometimes. So yeah, I think time wise we perhaps would be better doing it in the morning. We'll see. How's it doing? Oh Sean, that's looking really good. And there you are, just scrape it all round now and you can whiz it round now with your thing, your wrist action. Make sure there's none on your spoon. How are these cooling? These are coming on nicely. Thing is, we've got to have them cold because if we put the buttercream on while the cake's still even slightly warm, it's just going to melt because of the butter. So we really have got to, especially the one that's having the buttercream on, which I'm never quite sure, does the cream go at the bottom and the jam at the top or vice versa? I think everybody's different. So I'm going to put the buttercream at the bottom and we'll have the jam on the top of that, I think. So you'll have to let me know if I've got it wrong. How's it looking? Beautiful. Shall we put a bit of vanilla essence in there? Vanilla essence just to give it the flavouring. Just put a bit too. Won't. You don't need too much. There we are.
Stir it again?
Yeah, stir it again by all means. That's a sticky job, vanilla essences. Well, it's that extract actually, natural extract. Made from real vanilla pods, Madagascan vanilla. It tastes very nice. I actually love vanilla. Oh, absolutely.
Good for you.
Vanilla cakes are my favourite, whereas most people tend to go for chocolate in our family. Vanilla is mine. Same with ice cream. I love a good whipped vanilla ice cream, especially the Cornish vanilla. could eat a whole tub of that to myself.
I'd rather like ice cream on.
Lovely. There you are, Sian, I think that's enough. We're going to have it runny. It is a bit runny actually. Maybe, if we put, maybe we need a little bit more of this in it. Bits of thicken it a bit. Maybe we've overbeat it. Let's have a look. If we have it too runny, it's just going to run out the cake. Maybe we should have had less, what's it in it, butter, margarine, whatever. It's going to run, I think. Probably we won't have none of this left for the topping. Not that it matters, we can have a plain top, just have to have any bob on. Consistency is quite runny, really, runnier than what I'd like it to be. This is why I always buy mine. I'll use all of that, what's left of it.
Well, you're meant to use the whole packet.
So, what we'll have to do is pop it in the fridge for a bit, I think, so that we can get it on the cake. Just got to wait for the sponges to cool. Now I know why I always buy that stuff. I'll have to make note in my cookbook. Less margarine. Let's taste that. It's going in the wash. I'm going to pop this in the fridge to try and set the margarine a little bit.
That's nice. You like that?
While the sponges continue to cool, they're doing okay. And we'll show you the end product when we've done. Right, so everything's cooled down. We've managed to thicken up our cream. And so Sian's now going to put the cream onto the base. Maybe it'd be better if we put it that way, you can actually see what she's doing then. Put the cream onto the base. I mean, we may not need all of it, but you put a good few dollops on and spread it round. That's it. Do you want another spoon just to push it off? That's it. Might be better if you just tip your bowl and put a few and scrape some in.
I have no idea what's happening.
Come here. Put a big dollop on.
I didn't think you would put the whole thing in.
That's not the whole thing. There you are. Now spread it round up. There you are. To the edges. Make sure it don't go over. Bring some this way, look. So put a little dollop down in that edge there. I like it so it oozles over. There, flatten it all out. Okay. So let's move that out of the way. Put your spoon in the bowl if you want, Sian. Move that out of the way. Put that in there for a minute. Deal with that in a minute. Oh, just bring it back a bit, just to, you've got more of this end, see if you can bring some so it's even, you know, so it's sort of level, or your cake's not going to sit level. So, that's it, dollop it down here, you're pushing it back up that way. That's it, what's on your spoon, dollop on this end. That's it. That'll do. So now what we're going to do is spread jam onto this section. Pop that in your bowl now. Spread that onto that section.
made you smile. Wait, so all on it?
Not the whole jar, that's it, put that dollop on.
All around it?
Yeah, put a dollop on one side, put a dollop the other, then you can spread. Do you want help doing that? What, you don't splash everywhere?
I'm trying not to make it splash everywhere.
Stick into your knife, that's one word, it's going to go up the curtains. Right, bad. Oh. Don't put that, touch the cake with that handle, you know.
Okay.
Can you get a dollop out? Maybe we could put it over there. Great, bit more. There we are. See how that goes. That should be enough to do it all. I'll pop the lid on that and put it in the fridge for you. That all on nicely. Oh, you're losing it down the side. Grab it quick. Bring it back up. Oh dear me. There you are. That's enough. Dishwasher. Right, now what you've got to do is pick that up and place it on there. Roll your sleeves up. Are you happy to do that? Can you do that?
Okay, wait, so what way?
You pick it up
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
and guide it onto the top. Do not throw it. It's
So this way?
No, the jam meets the cream. Turn it round.
Like that.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Give it a little press.
That was
Down.
disgusting.
We would at this stage sprinkle it with some icing sugar, but we've used it all up to get the cream to thicken. So I'll just give you a closer up look of what it looks like. Can you see that? And excuse the jam that's on the table. There we are, lashings of buttercream, just how we like it. There, and give it a little flat. But we would normally sprinkle it, but obviously we can't because we've got nothing to sprinkle it with. So that's the cooking for this week done. So we'd like you to join us next week. We'll find something to cook next week, hopefully something a bit quicker so we're not boring you all to death. And we'll have a look what we can do, and it might be in the morning next week to give us a bit more time. So goodbye from me, Maria, and goodbye from Sian, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye.